foot down, and it really picks that gear and just takes off. Yeah, it got well over 70 there. I'm off in the 2023 Lexus RX 500h F-Sport Performance. That is a mouthful. That's not my first take. And this vehicle brings more power than we've ever seen in a Lexus RX. But how does it handle the bumps with these 21-inch wheels? Pretty smooth there. Pretty smooth, as you would expect in a Lexus. This vehicle has 366 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. It is the most power we've ever seen in a Lexus RX before. It should also be the quick. There's a beautiful, I call it rose gold, but it's called copper crest. It looks like a rose gold color. Anyways, should be the quickest RX ever. I did also drive the RX 450h Plus earlier, just before this, and that vehicle was very quick in its own right. So this being just 50 more points higher, 450 to 500, it is going to be slightly faster and might even be cheaper. At the time of this recording, I don't have pricing on any of the trim levels. I'm kind of flying blind here, but that's okay because I can tell you how they drive, just not how much they cost. I actually drove a 500h on the way up here, which is like an hour, 15-minute drive, and I didn't push it. I wasn't trying to figure out its performance, just driving it like a normal car. Good acceleration and drive very smooth, very quiet. So it is an RX. It's not going to betray its nature just because it's an F-Sport performance version of it. So very smooth, very quiet, very easy to live with on a day-to-day basis. And I returned on that trip like 26 miles per gallon over that longer trip, even after pushing it a few times. Just not as hard as I'm gonna push it in this video right here, right now. Now we have a turbocharged 4-cylinder with 2 electric motors. One is powering the rear wheels, and it's the most powerful, I don't know what to do with this Volkswagen here. It's the most powerful electric rear motor we've ever seen in a hybrid for Lexus. So it's got, I'm guessing, over 100 horsepower. Could very well be the same e-axle we see in the all-wheel drive BZ4X or even in the RZ450e, which is around 107, 108 horsepower or so and around 100 pound-feet of torque. Now, I am here to tell you that this 500h with these 21-inch wheels, with the stiffer suspension, more performance-minded, especially with these tires are more performance-minded, it is the least comfortable ride out of all of them. It's definitely the stiffest, the harshest, the smoothest ride I've had over all of them, and it might be due to tires, I don't know for sure, is the 350h. The 450h Plus was pretty smooth as well, but the ride quality still wasn't quite as good as the 350h. So if you're just looking for a basic luxury and high fuel efficiency experience, and saving a little bit of money, the 350h will probably do it for you. But if you want all the performance, all the bells and whistles, this 500h is that option for you. And with these bigger brakes, I'm excited to test it with the stop sign in front of us. I'm going 60 miles per hour downhill. I'm going to go over some of these speed bumps here to let you know there's a stop ahead. 3, 2, 1, and hard into it. The brake feel feels very similar to all the other RX models for 2023, which is excellent, mind you. They've really done a good job improving the brake feel and progression of it. I would say this just has a little bit stronger initial bite than those, but overall it's just a very good stopping vehicle no matter what trim you get. This is pretty much a luxury grade model with a digital rear view mirror, panel roof, heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated seats, head-up display. I mean, and Mark Levinson, I'm literally not wanting for anything in how this vehicle is equipped. If I were to take a stab what this would cost, brand new, since I don't know pricing, it would be low 60s with how this is equipped. With the plug-in hybrid, probably mid 60s. That will be the cost topping model, but maybe not the range topping in terms of performance. That's what this lighter model is here for. And this is still not a light vehicle. I'm going to throw it in the turn here to give an idea of what the handling is like. All right, let's see how she does. Into the brakes, just a little bit, off the brakes. Okay, so this Direct 4, it felt great powering out of the turn. I felt a lot of that torque coming initially through the rear motor. You have to keep in mind that this is a 6-speed auto, so it's got to still downshift and find the right gear before it takes off. And you also have that gasoline engine in here, although torquey, and it still has to rev a little bit to get that max power out of it. So it still drives like almost like a normal car, except it almost feels like the wind is pushing you in the back. It's kind of a bizarre feeling because it is one step into the electrified world. It's like living in two realities, gasoline engine and electric. And it's not like any hybrid I've driven before. Even though the Hyundais have a 6-speed automatic, those Hyundais have a drive axle powering the rear wheels. So it feels more like a normal car than an electric car. This at times feels like an electric car, and also at times feels like a performance car with a turbocharged engine. You put them together and it's a very unique experience I really don't have words for. I'm gonna hammer 3, 2, 1, go. There's very little dive. Lexus is very proud of saying, you know, Direct 4 really mitigates the pitch and dive, and I'm getting into the brakes hard because of the semi truck. No problem, of course I can outstop that vehicle. Foot down, and it really picks that gear and just takes off. Yeah, it got well over 70 there. It is very satisfying. It's more satisfying than your average electric vehicle because you hear the engine getting that crescendo. You hear and feel those shifts. It is more satisfying. It's not necessarily the fastest crossover I've ever been in. That might be the Kona N, for example, but that's also a much smaller, cheaper vehicle that is just, it's not even the same conversation. But anyways, it is a very satisfying. The 6-speed actually reminds me a little bit of Mazda's 6-speed autos with the shifting, how satisfactory it is when you accelerate. And we also have the paddle shifters. So if I put it into 3rd gear here, do I get any? I really don't get any engine braking in this vehicle at all. It's just making a lot of noise. So if you're hoping to get engine braking in here by using the paddle shifters, you're not getting any engine braking. Also, what's going on here is curve speed management, which is a safety feature you can disable. Oh man, there's a 0 to 60 area right there. This vehicle, oh, I'm really excited. But it has curve speed management, which slows down during the turns. I don't like it, but it's a great safety feature in the new RX if you're scared of high-speed turns. I'm gonna torque brake here. Sport mode is on. I'm at about like 1800 RPM and go. Hey, a little wheel spin. There we go. This is definitely the fastest model I've driven yet. There's 60. Okay, so 5.87 to 60. That's faster than what Lexus advertised at 5.9. It's not ideal conditions either. I'm gonna flip a U-turn here. But that is a very quick Lexus RX. Anything under 6, I think, is satisfactory for the vast majority of people out there. So we even had a part where it went uphill. I don't know if you guys can see that. But I'm gonna try it again, torque brake. There it goes. It gives that little chirp. Great torque. There we go. 6.11. Yeah, that was uphill, but what I got, like just under 5.9 the first time, which, like I said, is about where Lexus is quoting this vehicle. I haven't been actually close to the quoted times for 0 to 60 on the other Lexus RX models. This one actually beating the quoted time from Lexus. So that is very impressive. I'm just gonna floor it up the hill here, fighting for a little bit of traction on those front wheels. Not only do you have the engine powering those front wheels, you also have an electric motor sandwiched between the transmission powering them. But that little electric motor in the back is like the wind pushing you around. It's a very interesting feel. Does it still feel front wheel drive? Yes, it does, especially when that gasoline engine kicks in and gives you the full force torque and power. It does feel very front wheel drivey, but it has a unique characteristic with more rear engine or rear motor torque than we've ever seen in a Toyota hybrid before. I just finished my driving impression, but I wanted to add that we have rear wheel steering in here on the 500h FSP Performance. Can I really tell? Absolutely not. The wheels in the back can pivot up to 4 degrees, and in like parking lot situations, low speed, it goes the opposite direction to reduce the turning radius. And then when you're, you know, going high speed trying to turn, the wheels turn at the same direction, if that makes sense. I don't know the right word for it, but they turn together. So yes, the front and rear wheels both turn in this vehicle, and it is unique. And for the first time, we've never seen that sort of technology before on an RX. So yes, we have rear wheel steering here on the RX. Pretty cool. Just want to throw that in for you guys. So this is very exciting for me because not only is this the first time we've seen this engine in the Lexus RX, we're going to see it in a smaller vehicle in the Toyota lineup, the Crown, later this year. I mean, it's not going to be much of a stretch to say we'll probably see this in the ES eventually, since we're seeing it in the Crown, and maybe other Lexus models, maybe a 3-row crossover TX that's been rumored out there. So wow, I am very impressed with this 500h F Sport Performance model. It's just enough performance to satisfy those RX buyers out there that just wanted a little bit more. Not only does it succeed here in this 500h, we get better fuel economy than let's say the base 350, which is pretty cool. And I'm not getting great fuel economy right now because I've been driving this very hard. But like I said, I got 26 miles per gallon driving through the mountains. So if you live in a flat area, you might be able to get better as long as you can keep your foot out of the accelerator. But it's pretty rewarding, and it's more fun to floor this vehicle than any other iteration of the RX, not only before it, but also now in the 2023 model. This is the most fun to drive RX for 2023. It should, right? It should be, because it is that F Sport Performance model. So Lexus has done the right things here with this model to keep it, to keep not only Lexus buyers still interested in the RX if they want a little performance. They don't have to go elsewhere now, because now they have 4 different powertrain options. But it's also going to allow new buyers to be interested in the RX, who want something maybe that's different than what we see in the German competition. So very impressed overall with this RX 500h. Make sure to watch all my driving impressions out there for this vehicle. It's not a full review. I just have had this vehicle for a little bit today, but definitely stay tuned, because I will eventually do a full-on review of this vehicle and whatever trim level I get it in, whatever powertrain I get it in, when it comes to me and my press fleet in Florida. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe for more Lexus videos. We got more for Lexus coming this year with the RZ, more than likely. And also availability on this will be at the end of this year, maybe early next year. We're hearing October production begins for this model. This model will be built in Canada as well as Japan, but the ones we're getting here stateside are from Canada. If you want a Japanese built RX, you have to go for the plug-in hybrid or the front wheel drive 350 turbo models, to my understanding. Get into there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Got to cut myself off at some point. Thank you so much for your support, because without you, Lexus wouldn't bring me out to these events, fly me out and drive their all new cars, and I wouldn't be able to share it with you on a first come, first serve basis, essentially. So thank you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. And yes, I can feel the roughness of this road through this stiffer 500h and these huge 21-inch wheels that look incredible. But I'm going to finish by flooring it up the hill here. Oh yeah, that shift. All right, I gotta behave myself. Thank you guys. See you later.